Hello. Hey everyone, welcome to the interview. All right. Please let me know in the comments if you can see us and also listen to us. Okay, can hear us. Okay. Okay. In the comments and also if you want, feel free to introduce yourself in the comments as well. Let us know where you're tuning in right now. Okay. Let me just check. Okay, so I'm just checking different platforms to see to make sure it's
Tuning in
live
right
now.
now.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Okay, let me just check.
Mute, mute. Facebook. Let me check the chat. Yep. So if you're watching right now, please let us know if you can hear me okay, if you can see us okay in the comments, and don't hesitate to also introduce yourself to us, where you're tuning in right now, what's your background, your name, right, and say hi to each other. Okay. So I'm gonna just quickly check all the platforms to make sure we're live on all of the platforms. Okay. So I think LinkedIn. Um, okay, so live on Facebook, live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, which is great. Yep. Hi. Great. You can hear me. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, so I'm glad to have Adriana with me today. I've been doing these interviews once a month now. We had I think 3 interviews already done in the past 3-4 months with Gemma, with Nicola, and also with Leslie. So I try to get some different teachers with different backgrounds to the interview, so it can be representative to the audience we have here. We have interviewed teachers, traditional teachers with a lot of teaching experience, starting a business, right, really successful right now, and we also interviewed traditional, non-traditional teachers who came from a different background. Now they want to have a teaching business. I interviewed that I think Leslie as well. And today we have another type of teachers, non-native English speaking teachers, which is also a big population in the audience we are helping with right now. A lot of teachers being an English teacher, being a teacher for many years, but they're not native speaking English teachers, and they have had some problems with working online, company schools, and the opportunities for them to teach online is relatively limited, than native teachers. And today we have Adriana with us, and I'll just pass it to Adriana, let her introduce herself. Hi, Adriana.
Hi. So yes, my name is Adriana, and I'm originally from Poland. So yes, I'm the non-native English speaker teacher thing, and it's been, I have to say, it's been quite difficult as far as going online, because I noticed, obviously, like everybody else with COVID and everything else, quite a lot of our normal jobs, they just stopped. Well, that happened to me anyway, and because of that we had to go online. So I tried with the typical companies, but basically the first question is, are you British or American or Canadian or Australian or whatever else, but not Polish, obviously. So if you're a non-native speaker, no, thank you very much. So that was a no. And because I have a surname McNeil, which does not sound Polish, thank goodness, but I didn't think that would be appropriate to lie about it. So if they were asking the question, are you a non-native? So basically, I would say that being a non-native speaker is not that particularly easy in this industry, because well, they think that if you speak the language from birth, you're better somehow, which some people definitely are because of that, but I think there's more to teaching. So I went I started my journey with James with the challenge last year in October, so it's been already a year. And I think that was an amazing thing that happened, because I started like a lot of people, just being a regular teacher at first. So as I mentioned already, I'm Polish. I started teaching as an English teacher at school and at university, and I loved it. But then I decided to move to the UK, which turned out to be not the best choice for when you're looking at the career choice. An English teacher going to the UK where they speak English. I thought, well, that's might not work out so well. So at the beginning, I didn't work as a teacher at all. I was doing other jobs, and then I started doing interpretation and translation for the National Health Service in the UK, and probably hence I've got my niche, because I'm working with medical professionals. So I thought I'm going to combine the two together, my experience with translation and teaching, because I love teaching anyway. So once I've decided, the teaching I still like doing apart from the translation. I was working and helping people who emigrated to the UK, and they were either relocating for just because they wanted to, or they studied in the UK, or they were looking for jobs. They needed to learn English anyway. So I was working with them, and then I discovered that my passion is basically working with adults and helping them. So any obstacles that they have, that this is just going to help them. So I could relate, obviously, because I'm from a different country, and I was also working, in the UK, and therefore that was quite a nice thing, because now it's relatable as well when I'm working online. And I was working for 12 years very happily with this sort of international with international students. But then my management turned out to be not the best, and they did not secure funding, and I lost my job. And this is what happened. I had no job, and I had and COVID started, and it was like, well, now what do? I do like teaching. I want to still do it, but it's so hard to get into any company, online companies. So I thought, I don't know, I want to do it online, but how do I do this? And then, of course, I found there was an advert, and that kind of typical thing. I looked at the interview. It was the first interview with Nicola and Ellie and Jane.
Yeah.
And then I thought, that's worth thinking about. And then I downloaded the ebook, so that worked very well. I read it, and then the challenge started the next day, basically. So it was a quick decision, 2 days maximum. And then I was really happy to do this, because, of course, I had a push. I had no job, but at the same time, this was something I wanted to do. And because it was nice, there was so much stuff explained. This was like sort of self-development on steroids, because it was sort of all of a sudden 3 weeks, and I've learned things I didn't know, and it was presented easily. And I thought, well, and because we had to implement it straight away, that was also great, because, if you learn something and you don't do anything with it, it just goes away. And here it was perfect, because we could just use it straight away, and it was kind of working. And then I started getting some clients, I was amazed anyway. And it turned out to be a great idea. So yes, the fact that I'm a non-English speaker in this sort of area of work, it actually never stopped me, never bothered me. And this is my sort of message I would like to pass on. If somebody is a non-native English speaker, well, it doesn't really matter if you can speak English, and if you're good at teaching, well, that's fine. Just work on how you're going to do this, and this is going to be fine, because it seems to be working anyway. I've never had any problems with that. I know that people sometimes might decide, like, okay, I want a native English speaker. I'm sure that's the case at some, with some people, but then that's okay. That's probably not a student for me then, So I think there are plenty of students, and I got students as well, and they said that they were interested in working with me because of my background, and because they actually do research on you, it seems. So they did this, and also because I was a non-native English speaker, because they understood the fact that I will be able to relate to their problems, because I had to learn myself, which is a big thing. Because I know this because I also teach Polish. So now if I teach Polish, and if somebody's going to ask me, well, how, what's the biggest thing when you're learning Polish? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I spoke from, a baby sort of thing, So I didn't have a big thing in Polish. So it's a completely different story. But now when somebody's asking me that question in English, like, what's the biggest thing, when you're learning English, what's hard, so I understand that it depends where you're from, because different languages have different structures and different things, and basically they're not compatible languages at all. So then I know that then if you're learning English, this is the tricky part, this is the tricky part, this is the tricky part. See what I mean? So if I was a native English speaker, obviously everything can be learned. So you can learn even, how to teach English and everything. If you're, that doesn't matter. And I think people who want to teach, it doesn't even matter if they're not teachers. You don't have to be a qualified teacher to teach, because it's either in you or not. I mean, obviously it helps if you have qualifications, that helps pretty much. But at the same time, if you don't, I remember having many teachers as well when I was, for example, learning myself. And some of them, well, yeah, they had certificates, they were employed by schools and everything, but they were not good. Well, we didn't like them, and they were not very good at passing the knowledge, basically. And it was just like, yeah, I had lessons. Do I know anything? No. So you know what I mean? So this is
absolutely
how I feel.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you take some rest. That's a lot, Adriana. Thanks for
I
sharing
know, sorry.
sharing your story with us. Just two things I want to quickly comment on. So first of all, we've interviewed many native English speaking teachers. Okay, and I'm interviewing Adriana because she's a non-native English speaking teacher, and she's doing really well. And just want to inspire teachers uh, who share a very similar background to think about this, right? So that means it doesn't matter if you're a native English speaking teacher or non-native English speaking teacher. It doesn't really matter. As long as you can find a group of people that you can help, you can deliver, you can get results for, and you can have a very successful business. So just don't make excuses. Oh, I'm not a native teacher, and I've been treated badly by the company and the schools. Then, think about something else you can do actually to just to make it work, right? So that's one. The other one is the reasons why the companies, the whole industry, many companies, schools, they screen teachers. The first question they ask you, Adriana, are you a teacher from these countries, right? So I understand why, because at least two different perspectives. One, they got a lot of applications in every day,
Yeah.
right? They want to have a quick, clean cut. They don't want to look into your experience. They don't want to have an interview with you unless you meet the criteria. That saves them a lot of HR work, right? Labor work. So then that makes sense, right? For them to quickly pick the ones they can find, they can hire. And also there's so many applications, so many teachers looking for jobs, so they don't need to worry about not being able to find a teacher that meets the requirements, right? So that's number one. Number two, some companies, the way they position themselves in the market, for example, some companies in China, when they market themselves, they actually say, hey, you get to learn from Native American teachers and American teachers to learn American accent. So that's how they position themselves. Of course, they need to hire teachers who are native English speaking and also with the accent, English accent, American accent or British accent, right? So these are the reasons. So I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. They do it for a reason. That means for non-native English speaking teachers, the options are fewer than native English speaking teachers. But it does not mean the opportunities are less or are worse, right? It's not. It's really how you look at it. That's number one. The number two, number three is, and I really like the part you said, right? You never let the fact that you're a non-native English speaking teacher stop you from doing it, and also you try to leverage it. So that's one thing I've realized a lot, when I talk to teachers. So a lot of students want to work with them just because of themselves, like their backgrounds. I want to work with you, Adriana, because I like your background. I think I really can relate to you. I think you can really understand me, right? So that's people. That's why people are working with you. And a lot of teachers, even they have the same niche, like exactly same niche, they will draw different people because of their backgrounds, right? So everybody has a very unique background, and you should think about ways to leverage it in the market so you can be unique and you can position yourself in a way that other people cannot easily compete with you, right? Okay, I'm not a native speaker, but these are the reasons you want to work with me, right? I'm a native speaker. These are the reasons you work with me, and people get to choose depending on like what which teacher they can relate to, they like more, right? So that means it doesn't matter what your background is. Even if you are not a teacher, we interviewed Leslie right last month. No, she's not a traditional teacher, but she loved teaching. She just got into this teaching business,
Yeah,
right? She can still make it work as long as you can help people. That's important. So the
exactly.
certifications, qualifications don't 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 make sure that you can help, right? As long as you have the skills, you have the ability to help, and you can do it. And then
That's
thanks
right.
very much for sharing that, Adriana. Very quickly, so you started journey last October. It's been over a year now, and so I got a lot of emails, got a lot of messages, saying, "Hey James, I have this background. It's really hard for me." You know, people are getting like $7 an hour, $7 an hour.
Well, yeah,
Even like a native English speaking teachers, they're getting a $7, $12 an hour teaching. All right, it's unbelievably low, and I just can't help them because that's what companies know. That they're competing with each other, right? They have to lower their rates for their customers, and then they have to lower your rate because they need to make a margin, like make
yeah,
some revenue out of it. So the whole industry is pushing the price down, and nobody is actually getting more and more when you work in this industry as a general teacher. We talk about that a lot. So, and a lot of teachers don't believe like, oh, in this industry, can people even charge over $20 an hour, $30 an hour, $50, $100 an hour? So I just want you to tell people how much you're charging right now.
yes. This is amazing because now I'm charging over $100 an hour, and well, at the beginning, when you hear James is saying, yes, so you can charge what you're worth and everything, and then he says you could even charge 100, and I thought, haha, yes, I'm going to charge 100. I wonder. I was struggling with $30 or something. So yes, it's possible. And how it happened with me, I started obviously not at that level because it's all in your mindset. I think if you feel that this is far too much, you will never ever win in that call. You are not going to say to your prospect, that yes, this is my course and it's fantastic and you're going to pay me over 100. They're not going to do this because you don't believe in it. So if you don't believe in it, well, there's no way. So at first, I started with $50 an hour, and it felt like, oh God, this is too much, but okay. And it worked, and that made me feel like, I made a sale and it was amazing, and I just thought, this is fantastic. So because I believed in myself that I did it can happen. It's not like I forced the person, they actually with free will they agreed to do this. So that was nice. And then because, well, also, well, if you're putting your heart into the program, if you know what you've prepared is sensible and it is going to help them, well, obviously then you start believing this is actually quite good. And once you do the first student and then another and another, it feels like, because the students will have similar needs, and that means that you will basically have to deliver whatever they want. And if they are happy, it's a confirmation for you that whatever you've prepared, it's good, it's working. So with with another call, you should feel quite good about it because, well, it worked so far. So that means they are happy, I'm doing a good job, I'm worth the money. And then if another person says, yes, you can try and put the price up a little bit. And then, every now and again, and it comes to a higher price, and then it feels quite natural. Why should you lower the price? And to be honest, when you think about it, I had a plumber, for instance, for a silly job, and I had to pay a lot of money. And you just think, a plumber, I understand it's a skill and you also learn it and everything is perfect, and I don't have a problem paying for somebody doing a good job. But the point is, a plumber went to school for 5 minutes if you compare it to if you are learning a second language to a level that you can actually teach it. And then you're teaching business English, and it's also not a thing that you learn in a minute. So therefore, if a plumber can charge more, I just think, well, no, I'm going to try and charge more too, because I can see why it's worth a bit more. So you know what I mean? So then
Yeah.
you just boost your confidence. And I think everything that we can do, we can learn and sort of improve it. And then because of that, our worth, our value also grows. So therefore, and also sometimes what happens is if people charge a bit, like a small amount of money for what the service is, they might not be hired by somebody because the person think, well, that's a low price. Is the person no use? Do they not know much? Why is such a, I was, for my translation services, I was once translating for a solicitor, and it was quite funny because the solicitor told me, but why do you charge so little? Because she said, well, at first I was surprised, and then she said to me, basically on the side, this is such a small price, and I'm hearing the translation and it's good, because I was worried, she said. I was worried that you're not going to be very good, and that's why the price. So this is another confirmation. You cannot charge too little, because yes, you might get some clients, but then um, you might get even more because you're charging more. So I think that works that way.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing that, Adriana. Yeah, especially the last point, the price can be an indicator of the quality of service you provide.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I have the same feeling when I look for freelancers that can help me with my business. I never go for the lowest. I never go for the lowest one because my inspiration is, yeah, they're not good. That's why they
Yeah,
charge low. They're not good.
yeah.
Right. That's a good point. And we have, I think, right now from all three platforms, we have over 100 people watching right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I'm glad that so many people are interested in this interview. If you are willing to help us, please click on the like button of the live session right now to help us promote this interview, this live session to more people on the platform. Please help us if you are willing to. Okay. So just back to that point, right, about pricing. It takes time to build your confidence,
Yeah.
and that's what we recommend in the 2020 challenge. We always tell people, hey, the goal is 100, even more than that, but you need to look into your teaching, your experience, how comfortable you are. And I always recommend teachers to start with $50 an hour. No, to start with, that kind of the bottom line, because you don't want to go deeper, lower than that, right? Because that's how much you're gonna be worth when you teach a specific niche with a program. So start building. Once you have one student, you feel like, just like what Adriana said, oh, people actually pay, right? So you give yourself some confidence, and then you start teaching. Actually, my client likes it. Oh, that's great. I love it, right? So give you confidence. Next time you charge 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, right? Slowly you will get there. And at one point you will feel like, of course, that's how much I'm gonna charge because of the work I'm doing, because of the results I'm getting, right? And I'm much better than the general teachers they can work with. I'm actually providing very customized program to help them with very specific problems. Of course, that's how much I'm worth. Even with $100 an hour, unfortunately, that's not much, right? I don't know how much you pay the plumber you hired, but very easily in the US they are charging hundreds just fixing some things, right? No, of course they're worth that much money. I'm just saying teachers comparing to
Yeah.
that, right? How much experience you have, how much education, how much training, how much time you spending like getting yourself right to these points is worth more, much more. But it takes time for all the teachers to get there slowly, one step at a time. But you need to get started, right? So this is great. Thank you for sharing that. Adriana, one another question. Though since you are a non-native English speaking teacher, right? I want to I want you to share something, like share something with teachers, maybe share a very similar background to you as a non-native English speaking teacher after working on your business for 1 year. So what they should do, like what should they do to survive in this ESL industry? Like what would you suggest them doing in this industry so they can actually get better with their teaching?
Well, I think this is like in any industry. If you want to be good, you cannot stop learning. So whatever there is that you don't know, just go and have a look at it and learn, because I think this is the key. Self-development is a big thing, and I think if you like research whatever you don't know, and then if you look at it, I think, well, I have this mindset, I've always had it, like, okay, things are done for people, so it should be possible, right? So if you don't feel like there's something wrong with you, you should be able to learn it, basically. So it's kind of a simple way of thinking, but this is true. So before, if you told me a year ago, well, over a year ago, that I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to find my own clients online myself, I'm going to charge over 100, and I'm not going to be worried, and I'm not going to, like at the beginning, like was stiff, basically, and paralyzed with fear. I'm going to be quite okay, and people are going to say yes, So if somebody had told me that then, I would have not believed it, basically. So it's the same with anything. If you feel that this is a kind of career for you, well, just learn whatever is missing, just and then try and do this. And if you get clients, just learn, ask them questions, learn from them whatever they need. If you have insecurities about your non-native English whatever part, you can ask them as well, and maybe not at the beginning, but later on, once you know them well, you can ask them questions, how they feel about it, what made them decide to go with you, to choose you as a coach, not someone else. Because when you think about it, there are so many coaches all over the place, on LinkedIn, on any other platform. So because there are many, they have a choice, but then they chose you. So I feel that you should feel kind of, I don't know, honored and quite happy anyway that they chose you, and now it's your turn to deliver. So you just do your best to make it good, and whatever you don't know, ask them what they would like, and they will be very happy to say, I'm sure, what they would like, and to learn more, and then just find the knowledge, and then teach the next one in that way. Just keep improving, because I think if you look at your course at the beginning, and then if you look at it a few months later, if you have been listening to your niche, and if you have been posting and researching things, the program will differ hugely. So the price will be justified, because when you think about it, within all those months, you have put a lot of effort into researching and finding out and learning, and then putting it into your program. So every next student is going to get a better service, basically. And because of that, well, your confidence should grow. And also, as I say, if you ask them how they feel about the fact that you're a non-native English speaker, I'm pretty sure they are going to be quite happy, because that is what I found. They were quite happy that I was that, because they, even if this is probably even more true when it's a sort of general English, because at this point, when you're teaching them, when you're coaching them at that point, their level of English is very high quite often. So it doesn't actually matter if you're an English speaker, as in, well, that's hopefully, but it does matter if you are a native English speaker or a non-native English speaker. Their English is quite good anyway. So unless somebody, I think accents, there's a big thing about it. And I might have some enemies quickly here, but basically I think with accents, what's important is that you've got whatever accent is required when you're teaching accents, when you're, teaching that. So this is important, but I'm not claiming I'm going to make them have British or American or some other pronunciation, accent. I'm not claiming that. So that doesn't matter. What matters is your knowledge about the language, how to teach the language, how to, do the business part, like I'm teaching business communication. So that part is much more important than if I pronounce it that way or a different way, because they can see, basically, there are so many possibilities. People speak with such different accents, and they know, because their clients, their people, whoever they work with, are usually, they're global companies. So they know there are differences. So they understand that there's so, and plus they are not going to learn accents in 10 weeks if you're teaching communication, that's not the point. So that's not even an issue in my view.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was worried about it at the beginning hugely, and I had like an imposter syndrome here, big way. But it turns out it's quite okay, and this is not the biggest expectation that your English is going. It's supposed to be perfect enough so you can teach. But it doesn't have to be, for the accent, because every person, well, most people whose English is not, who are not native English speakers, they will have an accent of some sort. But I don't think that matters in this case. My students have never ever said that was a problem.
Yeah, depending on their needs, some people want to develop certain accents. It makes a lot of sense for them to work with teachers who can speak the accents. But if students just want to improve their communication, presentation skills, not relevant, not that related to the accent that much, I think all the teachers who can actually develop, how deliver this type of teaching will be sufficient for them. Yeah. So the one thing you mentioned, I like, is about learning, lifelong learning. I think one thing, for all teachers, regardless of whether you're a native English speaking teacher or non-native English speaking teacher, you need to first recognize, from teaching at a school, teaching with a company, teaching right for others, to having your own business, there's a huge gap in terms of the skills you need to have, right? So when you just teach with a school, with a company, teaching, if you're good at teaching, that will be probably enough. But when you want to shift to your own business, having your own clients, with your business, right? Then not only teaching, you also need to develop skills in marketing, in sales, right? So that is important to understand. There are skills you need to develop, and then you shouldn't stop learning. You should always step outside the comfort zone and start learning different things. Marketing. Okay, how can I market my business? How to do sales? And then you have all these skills that's sufficient for you to be successful in your teaching business. So that's the one thing you need to recognize. There's a gap, and then you are willing to bridge the gap, spend time learning all these skills, right? That's one good thing. And also, I'm seeing a comment I think I wanted to clarify, where we didn't mean to undermine, plumbers. So we use plumber as example just to show, people are worth their value, right? Plumbers have very particular skills. They can fix things that you can't. Then you have to pay them that much. And similarly for teachers have very particular specific skills and very valuable skills that you can help people get much more growth, do better at work, and have a better career. Of course, you should also aim to charge what you are worth. I think we're just using plumber as an example. We're not
Just an
saying,
example, yeah.
just an
I
example.
think with a plumber, it's kind of a funny example because people can see the urgency. There's water going on the floor or somewhere, and you need it now. So you will pay any money to have it fixed properly, right? Because you can't just do it yourself. With learning stuff, we know there's stuff on the internet. We know we can have a book in our hands, and we can learn something ourselves. And I think the urgency is smaller because of that. And that's why people are reluctant sometimes to pay higher, even if they understand, because they know that you had to be, before you got here, you spent ages and ages and ages, and probably loads of money as well, because you had to learn, right? Nothing is for free. So they know that, but it's easier for them to say, oh no, I'll do it later, or I'll just learn myself, I'll look on the internet, And with plumbers, they know, this is an example only, of course plumbers are wonderful and they are definitely required, and people pay. So because the urgency is there, I think it's a bigger thing.
It just makes sales easier for them than teachers, but I think the value they can deliver worth the money, and the value teachers can deliver worth the money. And for teachers, you just need to recognize how much you're worth and be confident in what you're doing, and also looking at how much your students can get, right, in terms of the improvements on their life, on their jobs, career. So give you the confidence. Okay, I'm worth more. I don't want to charge that low just because the companies give me that much, right? So this is what we want to talk about. Okay, great. So we talk about the 2020 challenge. I think some questions there already. We can definitely get back to you guys on that. If you have more questions, don't hesitate to leave it in the comments. Okay, we're gonna leave some time at the end for Q&A to answer questions. So one of the things we talk about a lot already, the 2020 challenge, and I think right now a lot of teachers in the audience probably have already graduated from the 2020 challenge. But for those of you who haven't, join the 2020 challenge. So that is a group training we run every month to help teachers get started, and that's what Adriana joined over a year now from now, like last October, to get her started from not knowing anything about the business, about how to do marketing, sales, how to do niche teaching, program-based teaching, to be able to get clients after the challenge, and then get to where she is right now. Charge over $100 an hour. So I'm not gonna spend time talking about 2020 challenge because I've been talking about this every single interview. If you are interested, you can check out the website. We have another round starting next on December 1st, which is 2 days from now. If you are thinking about it, want to get started, right? Don't hesitate, join it so we can help you get you ready for 2022. I can't believe this is going to be last month for for the challenge, last month for 2021. But anyways, if you guys have questions, want to ask, feel free to ask. If you haven't joined the 21 challenge, join it, right? So now get back to you, Adriana. We talk about 21 challenge. I always ask this question when we interview teachers. So I know it's been over a year now, but can you share a couple of things that maybe the major takeaways you got from the challenge? What you want to share with the teachers? What you like the most from the 21 challenge?
Right, I liked the structure very much because it was simple, one day at a time, and there were tasks to complete, and because of that it was possible to implement straight away whatever you've learned, and that was a nice thing. And every single thing was explained. There were little videos attached and this and that, and that was really nice, because sometimes you're learning whatever and then there will be a thing like, but what is this? What do I do? What so everything was covered, and I was really pleased with that. And so that was really helpful. And I think that you start straight away with all your LinkedIn. You get into LinkedIn and you start doing the little thing. I can't actually remember. I can't believe it, but I can't remember the exact bits and bobs that you started with. But basically everything was well thought through, and it worked well, and it wasn't overwhelming. It was just right. There was enough of a push to make you go and do it, and you couldn't just get lazy, because if you have like other duties to do during your day, this was definitely, you had to sit down, make time to do it. So it wasn't an easy thing, but it wasn't difficult either. I think it was well balanced, and because of that it was possible to do. The challenge was that you had to do it every single day, and 21 days of every single day, it seems to be quite a lot. And I struggled slightly, because it was like, but I want to go somewhere and now I can't, because I have to be back because there's a class, but it was nice at the same time, because you had to do it. And it paid off, though. It paid off because such a short amount of time, and I have learned a lot, things that I wouldn't have done myself, because first of all, I wouldn't even know where to go to find out, so that was a fantastic start. And then it helps you do other stuff, so you can learn more, because this is the thing, once you start learning something, you find out that, oh, I don't know this, oh, and I don't know that, oh, and what's that, so you keep going, and then you keep finding out about things. So that was a lovely start, and I really enjoyed this. And then later on, you get into this community, you meet people, and then you can start chatting, you can even develop friendships, and then people are very helpful. So this is, you don't feel alone, because I think starting a business online when you're just yourself and there's nobody else, that is the scariest thing ever. So I think having those people here, and you knew that you could talk to somebody, and even James was making comments, here and there. So that was nice. So if you ask the question in the group, for instance, there would be answers. So maybe not necessarily instantly, but they would come. And that was really, good.
Yeah.
I think. I don't remember. I would recommend it definitely though.
Yeah, thanks for that, Adriana. I think a couple of things. Yeah, it's very packed a training. I think also depending on your goals, a lot of teachers join the 2020 challenge just want to explore, not necessarily like taking action, getting started. And it takes them less time, usually 30 minutes to 1 hour every day should be enough. But for teachers who are more ambitious, like, oh, I'm just gonna try to get a student even before the challenge finishes, right? And then they spend more time because you have to take action, you have to do stuff,
Yeah.
take action.
Yeah.
And I think that was you taking
Yeah.
action and doing things. That's why you got pretty good results right after the challenge. So depending on your goals, a lot of people exploring. Okay, I want to see if this is for me. If this a going independent thing actually works for me, then you probably spend 30 minutes, 1 hour watching a video, work on the worksheet. That's it. That's all you need to do. But if you are a teacher, okay, I am ready. I just want to do it and get started build enough momentum for me to keep going. And then you're probably gonna start spend like 1 hour, even 2 hours every day taking the training, actually implement taking
Yeah.
action. That's great. And also, it's very supportive. I have, myself, my team, in the group all the time, answering questions to help you clarify things. You know what to do every day. So this is exactly, I think, what we do in the 2020 challenge, and it's been a flagship, service we offer right now, and we graduated over 2,200 teachers in 2 years. Can you believe it? Like
Wow.
2,200 teachers in 2 years, and we are very proud of it, and we are improving. And the challenge is very different from the one you took actually already
Yeah.
because we revised the LinkedIn training, the club health training, all different things. But anyways, if you are interested, feel free to check the website and join this round. And one of the things, teachers might tell me, "Hi James, can I join in January?" Sure, you can join in January. You can join 2 years from now, 3 years from now, if we are still doing it, right? But for a lot of teachers, we got probably like 60 teachers in the group already. A lot of teachers, they were like, I'm going to do it in December because I don't want to leave it to 2022. I want to get myself ready for 2022. So on January 1st, I know exactly what I'm going to do with 2022, right? If that is you, you should join in December instead of, okay, next month, the month after, 2 years, 3 years, right? So as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, we take action. We don't wait. While you're waiting, so many opportunities are gonna be gone already. So I think that's it for the interview. We're gonna take some questions. I know there have already been some questions in the comments. If you have more questions, either for me, for Adriana, about the everything we said today or the challenge, please leave in the comments. We're gonna just do our best to answer these questions. Okay. So one question. Yeah. So I actually shared the link with you. Right now, so the full price is 197. I think we have a few discounts left. If you check the website, a 35% discount. So that's $127. I think we have a few tickets left. If you want to take advantage of the discounts, please sign up as soon as you can. Check the website I shared with you. Okay. Uh, so one question: are you Scottish?
I love it. No, I'm Polish. I live in Scotland though. Yeah, for the last 22 years. So there might be a bit, yeah. Yeah.
So is that because you already have some Scottish accent? Is that why, or I don't know
No,
why you're
no. I learned
asking
English in Poland from a Polish
that?
teacher. I had some American teachers. I had some Canadian teachers. It makes, but because I think my husband is Scottish, that helps surely. And I've been living here for 22 years, so I hear it. I do like it as well. So I think
Okay,
that's what happened.
good. It's good.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's a compliment, you see, because if I'm a non-native English speaker and somebody's asking me, are you Scottish? That is amazing. That's a great compliment.
Okay. Good. That means your English is good. Your English is good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay. One more question for you, Adriana. Adriana, are you teaching groups or just one-on-one right now?
I'm still teaching one-on-one. I quite like that. And I think I'm sort of leaning towards trying the groups. because I've been working on my program, I've been changing it, doing things to it, so I was thinking I can't be doing groups when I'm not so sure what I'm doing. So you know what I mean? I know what I'm doing, but because I've been making changes, it didn't seem to be okay to start groups. So I think maybe in the new year I will think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the point is step by step, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely, this is the thing, that you cannot push yourself too hard. As in, yes, you should push yourself to do it, but at the same time you can't go too far, because then you are not going to feel confident, and then it's not going to work greatly, because either students are not going to be happy, or you're not going to get any sales because you're not confident.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Absolutely. So basically you should you should take action, but also need to find your own pace, like what pace makes more sense to me. So I don't want to rush too much, then I'm not going to be confident in doing so many things at once, but I can't just stay where I am forever. I need to keep going, right? So it's like you are moving, but at your own pace. At your own pace, that you feel comfortable, you feel like you're growing every single day. That makes sense. Yep. Good. So this question has been answered. I think Tara, Jeanette, they've been helping us answering this question. So the challenge we have in the group, but it's not like live sessions every single day. It's just too much work, right? So we release videos every single day, and you're gonna watch the video. In the video, you're gonna learn something every day. It will give you the assignments to work on every day. Then you take action, do the work, then ask questions in the group. And we have live Q&As. I think 4 Q&As. In 21 days, and if you can't make these live Q&As, it's always recorded. We just can't find a time that works for everyone, right? So yeah, it's always on your at your own pace. If we release the video at 12 a.m. my time EST every day, but you can find the time that works for you every day to watch the video. And some teachers actually skip the weekend because they can't do it, and they catch up, and you can catch up as well, right? So it's very flexible, and okay, very flexible. Okay, so let's keep going. And the assignments require a lot of time. I think if it's about the challenge, as I said, it depends on your goals. If you want to actually get students before the challenge stops, ends, then you probably spend more time implementing. But if you are not ready to take action to actually get students yourself, then it probably usually it just requires maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour in total, including watching the video and doing the assignments without taking action actually implement to get students. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I know people are busy in December. That's why I got a lot of questions like this. Totally understandable. But the thing is, you can wait another month, a month after that. But when is the best time for you to do it? If you think, okay, I can't wait anymore, I should do it now, right? There are gonna be a lot of challenges. That's why we call it challenge, right? 21 day challenge. Of course, there are gonna be challenges, obstacles. Then we make it work, right? That's how we do things, right? Okay. All right. Any other questions, guys? Do you help with the content planning for the social media? In the 21 challenge, we talk about content marketing. Actually, we spent 2 days on day 11, day 12. Day 11, day 12. We talk about content marketing, like what type of different type of content, and formats and video marketing, all that, and we share some templates. But we don't. I don't know what you mean by help in the content planning. So it's more about we'll give you templates, things that work, that proven, that working, and how you're gonna plan your content. The frequency. I think a lot of basic things about content marketing that are covered on day 11 and day 12. All right. Good, guys. Any other questions? If you have, feel free to share. We can maybe answer one more question before we finish it. Adriana, do you have anything that I didn't ask you want to share? You haven't shared. If you want to talk about it as well, if you know, feel free to do that.
Don't know. I think I said quite a lot of things, and I would just say to people that if you feel this is your kind of job, just do it. It's really nice, and the satisfaction is amazing. because there are two ways of measuring. Well, there are more than two, many ways of measuring success, but one of them will be the joy when you get an email from PayPal saying that you got a payment for your strategy session, so that's amazing. But also you get to be told like, oh, you're the best, you get messages like, I got the job, I did this, I was able, my presentation went well, or whatever. That is really such a nice thing to get. So it's not only that we're doing it, well, I'm not only doing it because I want to earn some money. That is obviously a good thing, but the satisfaction is huge, and I really like that. I've always liked this job because of the satisfaction you get, and sometimes you don't get it for a while, but then you get it sometimes, like suddenly, and a lot of it, and I think that makes it a great job.
So another thing, I think what you said here is making real like impacts. I think I think that's one of the satisfaction I have, working with teachers and making real impact on people's lives. So it's not about the money, it's not about the business, it's about seeing teachers changing lives, seeing teachers getting better results, seeing teachers leaving their job and find something they love and passionate about. But that's what I want to see. And that is what motivates me to do this every single day. And for teachers, we are in our community, inner circle community, teachers posting, oh, my client got a job, my students, send me this, send me that, right? So these are, I think, on the next level, right? Once you are getting there on the next level, that's what you are chasing, like the feeling of making an impact, a real impact on people's lives. As a teacher, as an English teacher, you can make much bigger impact than you thought you would, right? So that's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Let me just double check one more time. Good. I think I'm just going through this one. Oh, one of the comments here. Yeah. If I miss your question, feel free to. Okay. So this question, I just clicked on it. It's not for us, but I think that's going to be a great question. What do you think? What I think it's about. What should you charge per hour per course? I think we always talk about how much you charge hourly, but in 2020 challenge, you're gonna learn about setting programs. So basically, you are sending your students a program, a package of sessions. So people pay you per program, and then you calculate how much hourly you are earning. So you're not charging per session. Okay, I'm working with you for 1 hour. That's how much I'm earning. It's not. You're getting programs. For example, Adriana has, I think, a 10-week program, and if she's charging $1 an hour, that means she's getting students at over $1,000 per student. So that's what we do, and you're gonna learn. If you haven't joined the 21 challenge, you're gonna learn about that in the 21 challenge. That's what we call program-based teaching. Program-based teaching. All right, guys. So I'm not seeing more questions. I hope you guys are happy with the interview. Yep, are happy with the interview. If you haven't joined the 21 challenge, I shared the link with you. Please do that. Don't wait another month. Okay. All right, I think that's it for today. Thanks very much, Adriana, for spending time with us and sharing your very inspiring stories with us. I always wanted to interview a non-native English-speaking teacher because I got some emails. Hey, James, when can you interview a non-native English-speaking teacher? I was okay. Wait, I'll be there. I'm gonna do it, right? Okay, thank you for your time, and also thanks you guys, all of you guys who are watching online right now, for taking the time with us. I'll see you guys next month, I guess. Okay, all right, see you guys.
Take care.